Hello everybody, this is Ashley Rhianne. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. We're going to be focusing on about a 25-minute Pilates core flow series. So when you're ready, we're going to start cross-legged. We're going to find those sit bones on the floor and just start by doing some really big shoulder rolls back, trying to really touch those ears with the shoulders, and we'll switch rolling forward, really focusing on scooping through the upper spine. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to really lengthen out of those sit bones. Press into those knees with the hands. Let's shine that chest forward. If it's safe for you to drop your neck and head. And we're going to round forward, so tucking through the pelvis, through the abdominals, sitting behind those sit bones. We're going to inhale. We're going to rise out of those sit bones, shine the chest forward and up, coming to an extension. Exhale, coming into that rounded back position, sitting behind those sit bones. Beautiful. Inhale, shine that chest forward, open through the neck if that's safe, and exhale. Again, coming into that rounded back position, and find yourself back in neutral. We're going to place the left hand down by your side. You're going to take a nice deep breath in with that right arm. Make sure that that right shoulder stays down. On the exhale, we're going to side bend into that left side, bringing those left ribs to hips. Inhale right through center, lift that left arm up, keep that shoulder blade down, and exhale as we bend into that right side. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale, lengthening all the way up, and exhale again over towards the left. And we're going to finish here on that side bend to the right side. Deepening that stretch and coming all the way up. Let's roll those shoulders back to release any tension. We're going to do a nice little cross. So let's place that right hand on the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, we're going to twist to that left shoulder, looking just past that left shoulder. Inhale right through center, left hand to right knee, and exhale, we're going to twist. As we inhale through center, think about drawing those ribs together, trying to seek lots of length in that torso before we twist. Having a nice firm connection with that hand on the knee, and then unfurling that twist to go in the opposite direction. And let's twist one last time over that right shoulder, really connecting with that left sit bone. And let's come out of there. We're going to start some core work here. So we're going to start seated with our feet about hip distance apart, making sure that we're right on top of those sit bones. We're going to just roll those arms and shoulders just to relax any tension. Have those arms out in front of you. Take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to start by rolling through the pelvis. So we're rolling away from our legs. We're continually cycling through that nice little pelvic arch here, pulling the pubic bone up towards the nose, and we're going to exhale to sit all the way up, stacking on top of those sit bones. Inhale to prepare, and let's exhale. Let's tuck. We're going to roll back. Keep those arms reaching forward. Hold it here. Inhale and exhale. Let your abdominals help pull you up as you stack. It's really important here when you're doing these exercises to keep tucking through that pelvis. So you want to really lengthen that tailbone and keep pulling that pubic bone up towards your nose. We also want to draw those ribs together and just make sure that the shoulder blades are down. Don't let your shoulders rise up around your ears. We're going to hold it here. We're going to do a nice inhale with that right arm, and exhale, press that right arm down. Inhale with the left arm up, and press it down. And both arms up, and press. Again, right arm comes up, and we press down. Left arm comes up, we press down. And both arms float up and pressing down. Again with the right arm, really trying to make that arm nice and long so that we feel the abdominal engagement, and that left arm comes up. We're going to lift both arms up for 5 and 4, 3 and 2. Press it down. Last time, up and down. Beautiful. Sitting all the way up, and let's just do a really nice forward fold to release any tension in the back. Breathing into those back ribs, filling up those ribs in the side body. Beautiful job. And let's come and lay on our backs. We can do a nice little roll down. And let's open our arms out towards a T shape. Let's roll those shoulders down the back. We're going to close those ribs in front, and let's float the right leg and then the left leg into tabletop. And let's draw those legs together, really pressing the inner thighs in. Make sure that those ribs are drawing together. And we're going to be in a neutral spine here. We're going to inhale. We're going to lower those knees over towards the right, making sure that the top knee stays stacked. Exhale, pull the belly button in, and let's move right through center. Inhale, let's draw those left knees over towards the side. Again, making sure that that top leg is stacked on top of that bottom leg. And exhale back to center. We're going to keep drawing those legs over towards the right. And let's exhale right through center. And again, over towards the left. So it's really important here that you really connect with the opposite side. So when we bring our knees over towards the right, think about pressing down with that left hand. That whole left scapula is down on the floor so that we're getting a lot of work through the obliques here, working on some spinal mobility. And let's release through the neck. Roll those shoulders back, make any other adjustments that you need to. When you're ready, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Drop those knees over towards the right. Keeping those knees stacked, we're going to open the right leg and close. And open. So we're starting to connect with the hamstrings a little bit. Remember that we're just opening from the knee joint all the way towards the toes. So keep squeezing those knees together. Let's leave that right leg up as we push the top leg into center and come back into tabletop. We're going to come over towards the left. Same thing. Keep those knees stacked as we straighten the bottom leg right from the kneecap. And let's close. We lengthen, feel that quadricep expand, and then we contract with that hamstring. And we'll do one more time. Squeeze those legs together as that bottom leg helps push that top leg back in towards the midline. Come back into your tabletop, and we're going to do it again. And let's draw that leg back up and come back into your tabletop. Again, let's make any adjustments that you need to. Release the neck, roll around a little bit. Now we're going to drop those knees over towards the right. We're going to straighten both legs and bend. So let's really press down through the left hand, find that left shoulder really grounded on that mat, feeling that nice extension through the back, that twist. And let's do one more time. Keep those legs nice and straight, squeeze those legs together. And we're going to use our belly muscles to pull it right through center. Let's find that tabletop position once again. Let's lower those knees over towards the left. Here we go. Straighten and bend for 2 and 3 and a 4. Keep those legs squeezing together. Pull it right through center. And let's find that tabletop. Let's draw the knees in towards chest. Let's roll that head side to side. Flex the feet. Do whatever you need to do to shake off any tension that might have accumulated. All right, let's come back with our feet on the mat where they're going to be sit bone distance apart. Press those hands down into the floor, knit those ribs together. We're going to take a nice deep breath and we're going to articulate through the spine. So rolling through that long tailbone, we're going to close those ribs in the front, making sure that that pubic bone is one of the highest points in your hips at this point, and then softening first at that spot between your shoulder blades, rolling all the way down, rolling right through that imprinted spine, finding your neutral. Inhale to prepare, pressing to your feet. We're going to roll all the way up, making sure that we're not transferring this weight on towards the neck. Keep it just at the top of those shoulder blades. And we're going to bend at the torso, rolling all the way down, trying to make that torso longer every time you come down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the belly, tuck the pelvis. We're going to roll all the way up, finding the power in the feet. Now spread all 10 toes. Press those hips up. We're going to lift that right heel up, press it down. Left heel is going to raise up and down. And right heel and down. And left heel, press it down. And again with the right. And left, trying to connect with those hamstrings. We're going to lift the right heel up, press it down, and again on the left. Lift both up, press it down. Lift both up, press it down. Making sure that you're scooping through that lower belly just to keep the back nice and safe and to activate the lower abdominals. You can float your arms just above your shoulders. Just make sure that you keep those ribs tucked together. Let's lift both heels up, and we're going to drop the right heel down, lift it up, and drop the left. So we're going to pedal the feet. So keep spreading those toes, really focusing on that spot underneath the glutes, where the hamstrings meet the glutes, just so that we're really activating that whole back line. And this lift and that press are both really active, so 50% weight on both feet. Drop both heels, and we're going to ripple down through that spine all the way through our imprint. Find our neutral. Lovely. Let's take a really nice stretch here. Let's draw those knees in towards the chest. Let's roll that head side to side. And let's find ourselves back with the feet on the floor, about sit bone distance apart. Just make any adjustments that you need to. Press the hands down by your side. We're going to come back into our bridge. So we're going to weight the right leg. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. Make sure that those ribs are knitted together. And we're going to press to that right leg, and let's extend the left leg. We're going to lift and lower that right leg. So our abdominals are pulling that leg up, and then we're going to extend it in line with that right leg. So making sure that both knees are running in that same line. The foot can be pointed. It could also be in a float, which is kind of a nice relaxed pointed position. We're going to flex that foot now, lower it down, point the toe, pull it back up. Flex and lengthen, point that toe, pull it up, and again. Actively pulling it up. Let's keep that foot flexed now. We're going to challenge ourselves a little bit more. So changing your foot position can really activate different muscles, so it's good to play around with a variety. And let's come all the way back in. Let's roll down, shift your weight side to side, then we're going to switch. So you're going to weight that left leg. And when you're ready, exhale, we're going to press up. I'm going to lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep that foot in that point or in that float. And here we go. Same thing. We're really working at hinging at that hip, keeping the energy shooting all the way out of those toes, nice and active. The hips are nice and steady. They're not moving side to side. Keep lifting. Let's flex the foot and pull it up with that pointed toe. And we flex down and pull it up. So we're always working against resistance. And let's keep that foot flexed. We're going to bring it down, pull it up. And again. And let's roll that foot down, bring that chest and the spine back down. And let's just do a few little windshield wipers here just to get ourselves back on track, to release any tension in that lower spine. Just dropping the knees from the right to the left. Massaging the back, massaging the hips, releasing any tension in those glutes. All right, that's it for lying on our backs. So let's transition over onto our front. So we're going to come and lay down on the mat or on the floor, making sure that our legs are nice and wide. If you're on a mat, it's about mat width apart. We're going to internally rotate those legs so that the big toes are touching the floor, the pinky toes are facing the ceiling. We're going to slide those kneecaps up the legs to activate the quads, press the pubic bone down, pull the belly button in away from the floor. Hands are stacked underneath our forehead. We're going to inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to slide that chest forward and up, lifting, shining that breastbone forward. And we inhale, bring it all the way back towards the floor. When you're ready, we're going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale as we come all the way up again, making sure that those legs are nice and active, that we're not dumping into that lower spine. So we want to really try to seek length from the tops of our ears all the way to the tops of those toes. By sliding forward first, lifting up, trying to keep that neck nice and long. Let's hold the upper body here as we lift that right leg and the left. Good work. So we want to really focus on that little spot right underneath those glutes, so kind of where your back pocket of your jeans would sit, just to really activate and lift those legs. We're holding the upper body nice and stationary, so we're really focusing on those legs. And let's come all the way back down. Let's reset here. And let's reset. Let's take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Let's lift both the torso and those legs. Keep that internal rotation happening. Inhale to lower and exhale. Thinking about seeking that length, keeping the belly button pulling away from the floor. Now, if this is too much for your pelvis and your pubic bone, you have a few options. You can fold up your mat so that you've got a bit more of a cushion underneath there. If you've got some really thin little mats, you can pop them underneath the pelvis or the hip bones, and you can also place like a towel on the floor. That sometimes helps. We're going to stay up here and we're going to work on some side bending. So keeping those shoulders facing the floor, we're going to draw those right ribs towards the hips and then find your center. Now over towards the left, we're going to try to draw those ribs towards those hips and come back to center. So it gets really easy here to start to twist in that upper spine. So a nice little cue that I really like to think of is trying to keep the 2 points of my shoulders always facing the floor. And always, my eyes always help. So just looking down at the floor to keep yourself nice and straight. Lovely. You might find that you are a little bit stiff to begin with, and then you're going to start to loosen up. Side bends are super important as part of our spinal mobility. And let's press ourselves back into our shell stretch here. Reach those arms forward, sit those heels back, scoop the belly around to that upper spine. Get a nice stretch. We're going to offset that work that we just did in that extension. And when you're ready, let's roll up that beautiful rounded back and let's find ourselves into a 4-point kneel. So we're going to make sure that our knees are right underneath our hips. You might have to walk your knees back a little bit further than you think. Hands are right underneath the shoulders, and let's press up into a downward dog shape here. So in this position, trying to draw those heels towards the floor, keep tucking the ribs. And we're just going to pedal the feet so that we're really waking up that back line. Have a micro bend in those elbows so that you're not hyperextending through the shoulders or those elbows, and keep tucking that chin. It's really important here not to pop the ribs, so really keep drawing those ribs towards each other to activate those upper abdominals. This should feel really nice. All right, let's drop both heels. Let's lift both heels up. We're going to come into our inchworm. So we're going to shift our weight over towards our hands, and we're going to unfurl that spine, finding ourselves in a plank, making sure that we're pressing through our fingers, and let's press back into our downward dog. I need to walk my hands out a little bit, so just make any adjustments. Lift the heels. As you lift the heels, feel that cycle rippling all the way up through the spine as you shift your weight forward, finding yourself into that plank. Keep tucking through the pelvis. Don't drop those hips. Actively press back into your downward dog, dropping those heels towards the floor. Again, rising up on those toes. We're rippling all the way through. The vertebra is unfurling, finding yourself into a long plank, pulling that belly button in as we hinge back into our downward dog. This is one of my favorite exercises. I find this really challenging, but it's a beautiful way for you to wake up the entire back line of that spine and fire up that core. All right, let's find ourselves in our plank. We're going to go into our tick-tock. So when you're ready, let's draw the right knee towards the right elbow to the left and place it back. Draw that left knee to elbow, cross it to the right, back to the left, and back home. We're going to do this 4 full cycles. So I want you to really focus on seeking the length through the pelvis. It's really hard not to let those hips rise up, especially as you get more fatigued. So when you place both feet together, try to just really reestablish that plank position, trying to get nice and long. We're really activating the obliques and those abdominals here. So really trying our best to feel that twist right through the pelvis, right through those lower deep abdominals. And let's do one more time on the right side. Press it back. And let's do the left. Find that plank, drop those knees, and let's sit our hips back. Reach those arms forward. Really enjoy this much needed rest just to reset the back. If you want to flip your wrists so that the palms are facing up, please feel free to do that. Just take some nice deep breaths here to slow that heart rate. And when you're ready, we're going to shift our weight over towards our hands by unfurling that spine, coming right through cat, finding ourselves into that cow position. So let's line everything up. So making sure that those knees are underneath those hips, the wrists are underneath the shoulders. We're going to come into our bird dog. So let's step that left leg back and the right arm forward. We're going to have the palm facing up. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, lifting up from underneath that glute, moving right from that scapula. We're going to find that nice long line. Keep the belly button drawing away from your t-shirt, seeking that length. And we just touch it down and we fire it back up. Try to have a little micro bend in that stabilizing arm and making sure that you're really not sitting on that supporting leg. Try to draw that weight in towards the midline. All right, we're going to hold it up and do little pulses, pulsing up and up. Try to really work from the back line of those glutes so that your hips are not moving up and down. All right. Let's do this. This is the hardest one here. We're going to come into some abduction. So we want to stay nice and focused. So we're going to exhale. Seek that length. Trying to keep the leg and the arm at the shoulder and hip height. We're going to open to the sides, squeeze back towards the midline, and drawing back down. And again, lifting up, holding that nice, strong position as we open our limbs out to the side, draw them back to the midline, touching down. And again, these are super brutal, so you can do this, I can do this. And let's do one last time. Let's open, feel those abdominals as we pull ourselves back. Oh my goodness, that's so hard. Let's sit back into our shell stretch and enjoy. Breathe. All right, let's change sides. So I'm just going to flip around so that I'm closer to the screen, and we're going to repeat everything. So we've got our flying bird dog to start. So we're going to do everything on the right leg, left arm. So here we go. So again, trying to focus on keeping those hips nice and steady. So when we're extending those legs and the arms, we're really moving right from the back. So we're trying to do an isolated contraction from the glute and from that scapular region. And trying to pretend that you've got something like a martini glass on those hips, that you're not bringing those hips in and out of extension. All right, let's come into our pulsing here. So let's keep that micro bend in the elbow on that right side and just making sure we're not sitting into that left hip too much. All right, let's take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to go right into our pendulum. So again, really trying to focus on keeping both hip bones facing the floor, trying to keep that leg roughly at hip height, as well as that arm. We're trying to really keep it about shoulder height. So we're really working that kind of cross X position here. It takes a ton of stability, a ton of control. If this is too much for you to go out so far, even just lengthening it out slightly to a corner is totally fine. Just work with your body and what is best for you. Lovely. And up we go. Open, reach, come back. Whew, good job, everybody. That's awesome. Let's sit back into that shell stretch. Really enjoy it. The good news is that we just completed both sides. And we're just going to continue breathing into those back ribs. Let's take another full deep breath in here, and on your exhale, let's roll up into our cat position. We're going to come into a plank, so making sure that everything is nice and aligned in terms of the shoulders and the wrists. Let's step those legs nice and long, and let's form a really nice long line. We're going to draw that pubic bone up towards the nose. We're going to inhale to prepare, exhale, double exhale with that right leg kicking up. So we're going to always inhale to bring that foot back to the floor, exhale to lengthen that leg up. So again, trying to keep a minimal weight shift from leg to leg to keep those feet close together and find that stability within the torso and in the pelvis and of course the abdominals. So keep drawing those ribs together, keep pulling the belly button away from your t-shirt, keep trying to seek length through the entire back line. Those feet are super duper active on the ground, so feel that buoyancy in the feet. Let's drop those knees. Let's keep those knees nice and wide. Let's flip those wrists. We've done quite a lot on our front, so just taking a nice deep breath in here. And we're going to transition into standing after this. So when you're ready, we're going to come and roll up, and let's just find ourselves coming into standing. So we're going to be doing a Pilates roll down here. So let's find ourselves at the back of the mat. We're going to spread the toes, find the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and the heel. Close those ribs. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the chin. We're going to round through the spine, bring our hands down towards the floor. We're going to walk out to a nice long-armed plank here. Inhale to stay. Exhale, we're going to press, and we're going to step one hand, then the other, trying to get minimal weight shift through those hands and the torso, and we're going to roll all the way up. So pull the sit bones towards the floor, stack through the entire spine, neck and shoulders at the top. And again, we're going to roll all the way down, diving forward. When you get to the bottom, walking those hands out, coming nice and long, finding the buoyancy in those feet, shifting the weight forward. Take a nice deep breath in, hinging at those hips. Walk one hand, then the other. One hand, then the other. If you need to have soft knees here, please feel free. Pull the sit bones to face the floor. We're going to roll up. The head is the last thing to come up. We're going to come into our final roll down here. So when you're ready, we're going to tuck the chin, round through the shoulders in the back, come down, walk those hands out. We're going to find that nice long-armed plank, shift the weight forward, and press back, and let's just drop those knees. Let's sit back into that shell stretch, rolling up. And you, my friends, are done. Thank you so much for joining me today for this workout. And if you like this workout, please feel free to like and share it. And I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you in class soon.